Hello, family.
The old give and take, take and take. One of the most potent weapons of influence around us is the rule for reciprocation. The reciprocation rule says that we should try to repay in kind what another person has provided us. If someone sends us a birthday present, we should remember his birthday with a gift of our own. By virtue of the reciprocity rule, we are obligated to future repayment of favors, gifts, and the likes. Repayments has become the new synonym for thank you. Sociologists report that there is no human society that does not subscribe to the rule. So, always be the first one to give favors and gifts so that the next person will feel indebted to you. This will make them like you and be more susceptible to your suggestions and easier to control or influence. The reciprocation rule works so well. In 1985, Ethiopia's food supply had been ravaged by years of drought and internal wars. Its inhabitants were dying by the thousands from diseases and starvation. However, the Ethiopian officials made a donation to Mexico that same year to help victims of an earthquake in Mexico. Why? When your own country is faced with such gigantic challenges. The money was being sent because Mexico had sent aid to Ethiopia in 1935 when it was invaded by Italy. Half a century later, against all countervailing forces, reciprocation won. Be wary, and never fall victim to the reciprocation rule yourself. There is a second way to employ the reciprocity rule to get someone to comply with your request. It is more subtle than the direct route of providing that person with a favor and then asking for one in return. Yet in some ways it is more devastatingly effective than the straightforward approach. This approach is called the reciprocal concessions. It involves making a larger request first and offering a smaller one as a compromise. Let's say you want a $4,000 loan from your parents. But you ask them for $8,000 instead, and when they refuse, that's when you ask for that $4,000 you always wanted. Finally, the seldom used weapon of influence. The Benjamin Franklin effect. This is a cognitive bias that causes people to like you more after they did you a favor. The total opposite of the reciprocation rule. Franklin describes how he dealt with the animosity of a rival legislator. After hearing that his rival has a rare book in his library, Franklin wrote to his enemy and asked to borrow the book. The rival agreed, and when Franklin returned the book, he expressed how much he liked it. The next time they met, Franklin's enemy showed a willingness to help him in other matters. Why? The Benjamin Franklin effect suggests that holding two contradictory beliefs at the same time causes people to experience mental discomfort. The mismatch between their actions and their feelings causes them to justify to themselves that they must like you enough to do you a positive favor, even if that wasn't originally the case.